Motivational, inspirational, sometimes confrontational. Overall purpose, uplift, help every man and woman utilize their gifts. I'm your host, Ray. This is my podcast, Radiant Moments, 15-minute to 30-minute podcast. We're new, we're kicking it off. Let's see. This is the podcast where anything and everything can be used as a lesson. And I'm so serious about that, as you will learn and come to learn as we continue to chit chat and talk with each other. So, what's this lesson and topic for today? Is taking my daughter to camp. She went to camp on yesterday. Today is July 6th. I did not record on yesterday. I'm trying to be consistent. But yes, we will definitely talk about that. I don't need to tell y'all where I'm from. You see that. I don't need to tell you what I've done. You see that. If you don't know what that means, ask somebody. Anyway, I missed yesterday. I've been listening to podcasts. And I listened to a guy, Paul Schmidt. So salute to Paul Schmidt. He talked about radical consistency. And in radical consistency, I mean, that it is what it is. It's in the name. You got to be consistent. So I want to be consistent in this podcast space. So we're going to try to do one every day. Maybe take a break on Saturday, Sunday. But get this content to the people. Anyway, as we were driving, myself and the family, saw a lot of state troopers. A lot. So I had a Waze app, and I can see on my phone the number of not state troopers, but the number of law enforcement. And it's not all the time correct. But on this particular day, yesterday, so many cops, state troopers and local law enforcement as we made our way across the state to take my daughter to camp. Unreal. 2 accidents. So, and it really wasn't on the side of us going. It was more seeing all the cops on the opposite side coming back this way. It was just too many. Michigan has a new law about having cell phones or cellular devices or whatnot in the car. So I'm going to look more into that and see what that's all about. Not totally sure. Anyway, for whatever reason, on the way back, coming back from camp, still a lot of troopers, law enforcement on the freeway. This time they were outside their vehicles, a lot of them. And they were like walking and searching through the grass. So I'm not sure what happened and what that was all about. But nonetheless, still a lot of law enforcement. Just listening to the news, and I didn't really dive deep into it, but apparently July 4th, this whole time frame, July 4th, July 5th, there were more mass shootings. And a mass shooting is supposed to be defined as 4 more people get shot or killed, not counting the shooter themselves. And it was all over the country. I think there was one in California, there was one in Texas, a few other places. I think there was one in Michigan. So, not sure what to say about that. We'll talk about that on another day. But today, we're just talking about taking my daughter to camp. Anyway, let's see. At some point when we were driving, my son said, "Hey, Dad, what's the speed limit?" It's 70 miles per hour. I know what the speed limit is. So why is he asking me what the speed limit is? I'm not sure. Make sure that this volume is turned up too. Somehow I made a mistake in hit the off button on the video. Not good. Anyway, I got convicted. What's conviction? What do you mean? Well, because I was doing over the speed limit, even with all the state troopers. Of course, I had the Waze app, so, go faster and then you slow down when you see you're about to approach where the cops are. That's how you do it. I'm not saying it's right. That's what I did, obviously. Anyway, I kind of got mad on the inside. Like, why is he asking me? Then I realized, oh my goodness, a lot of time as parents, we let the Lord use us as we give direction, ask questions with our children. What happened when the roles are reversed? Ooh, yeah. So now I was struggling. Do I slow down? What do I do? And my mind went all kind of places. Like, if you can't follow the speed limit, it'll make you think you're going to follow anything else that you're supposed to do. Then I start arguing with myself intellectually, quietly in my brain. Well, what about if you have to pass somebody? You got to go over 70 to pass somebody, right? That means I'd be doing more than 70. Now I'm trying to legitimize why I'm going over the speed limit, when all I had to do is just slow down and go the speed limit. If you actually do the right thing, even when no one's looking, like state troopers, you don't ever have to worry about state troopers. It never crosses your mind because you already know that you're obeying the law. I start to think, wow, if I will not obey this, what else won't I obey? And I guess we can use that, think about that in every aspect of our life. It's those little small things. Admiral McRaven, I think it's his name. He wrote a book, Make Your Bed. And like one of the most important things you can do in life to have multiple successes throughout the day is start with one, which is make your bed. And that little victory will lead to other miniature victories. Kind of like obeying the speed limit. Later on our way back, I think my son asked me, did you run through a red light? Oh. Maybe I did. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure it was yellow and it turned red. But again, with God will use whoever he wants. I think he used a donkey. I don't know. Read it. Fact check. So, are you willing to listen to the lesson and from whomever it is coming from? Doesn't matter. Right is always right. Wrong is always wrong. So, yeah, I was conflicted and battled back and forth. And then actually did slow down and do the speed limit. All the while having verbal discourse and dialogue in my head. But anyway, we drove. We got the Lord's chicken on the way there. Chick-fil-A. Even though I didn't even eat the chicken. This will take the whole podcast in a different direction. We talk about what are we putting into our bodies. There's a Netflix, I guess you'd call it a documentary that has to deal with health and the food and the things that we're putting in our body, processed food, and how these things may lead to cancers and all kinds of stuff, diabetes. So of course we got to be careful. But yeah, we definitely got that Chick-fil-A. So anyway, Chick-fil-A was good. Got back on the road, got one of those yogurt parfaits instead of the hash browns. And then made the way. We got there. And if you couldn't tell from my voice, maybe you could tell from the video, I'm a darker complexioned male. That being said, my offspring kind of look like me. Anyway, we went to this camp, and as I'm understanding it, talking to one of the counselors, there actually isn't a lot of dark skin complexion people at this camp. For whatever reason, I don't know. I'm sure we can entertain that. Obviously, don't want to jump to conclusions. What I can say, it was good to see that one of the counselors there was actually African American. It was good. You say, well, people always bring race into stuff, and why is that important? Because my daughter can see somebody in that space that looks like her in a position of leadership, and then she has something to aspire to and can be inspired by. Yeah, she's got a mom. Yeah, her mom is successful. Of course she sees her. And of course my daughter's going to be successful, just as my son will be successful because they see us as parents. But it's important to not just see parents, but to see other people. We don't want to be the exceptions to the rule. We want to be the rule. In other words, my conversation with the counselor led me to believe that camp is not frequented by African Americans. And so maybe it should, maybe it can. So I don't know. But happy that she's there and she's gonna have fun. I, by love, am a drummer. I haven't picked the drumsticks up in about two years. Yeah, 2 years. So I'm so happy that my daughter is rocking with the drumsticks. And I'm pretty sure that she'll have fun at this camp. It'll be a good experience for her. We already prayed, gave her the necessary information that she needed. And of course, me, I'm always, hey, what's your plan? Do you have a contingency plan? What if this? What if that? That's the dad in me. My name, Raymond, actually means wise protector. So I consider that somewhat protective of me as a father to make sure that my daughter is squared away. So it was good. We had to run back out to, where did we go? Walmart? Yeah, Walmart. Buy her a fan because the place that she's at, it does not have air conditioning. And that would mean it's going to get hot and it might be mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, to the unindoctrinated, means mosquitoes. You know, the things come down. Females, because it's not the males that do it. It's the females that come and get your blood. You know, the life of the flesh is in the blood. Anyway, so we had to go get her a fan and some off and other things. Came back, gave her a big hug. As my children are growing up, I just wish they could go back to being 5. That little small age where you could just pick them up, swing them around. So much fun. But that's not happening. That ship has sailed. Anyway, let's see. So what else? This microphone is so good, it's picking up the chair, all the movements. Sorry, listeners. I'll get a different chair for next time. I'm working on another business venture, VO, voiceovers. Got a coach, so I got lessons coming up today. And I love that process because I love talking into a microphone, period. I remember growing up, some people said, hey, you should be preaching. I think everybody's a preacher because you're always proclaiming something. What are you proclaiming is always the question. But shoot, I do it. You know why? Because it's a microphone. And anything that I'm doing in life is going to involve me around a microphone. Back in the day, I used to rap. You know what that involved? A microphone. Motivational speaking. Get up in front of the millions of people. TED Talk it. Walk it like a talk it. Hey, sure, microphone. So anything with a mic, I'm your man. Anyway, I'm still going through my lessons, and I hope before the summer ends to produce my demo and then start swimming in the deep ocean and get some good business and lend my skills to whomever, whenever, however. Let's see. I think one of the things I was concerned about is content saturation. What do you mean, content saturation? So much content is out there. Go to YouTube, go to LinkedIn, go to any of the other social media sites, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the book of face. And it's just so much data, so many people. And you can literally get caught up in all of that. I found myself getting caught up in all of that. I got rid of my Facebook. 3-4 years ago. Haven't looked back. But now I'm on LinkedIn because that's the place where, business professionals go. But even with LinkedIn, you can get wrapped around the axle or the tree or go down the rabbit hole with so much content. So here's what I'm thinking. Instead of being overly saturated, find the content that you need, rock with it, and keep it moving. And then be a person of decisive action that's making things happen in your actual life, not just your LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube life. Because there's enough people on the planet that some content is going to obviously be for that sector of people. It's going to resonate with them. Some people might not like the sound of your voice. Heck, sometimes I don't know if I like the sound of my own voice. And I like the microphone. Go figure. But yeah, there's enough content for everybody. I was thinking about that a few days ago as I was listening to rap. And I love rap music. I have ever since I was a young whippersnapper. And I started thinking, man, is it too much rap? It's just too much. And I thought about it, analyzed my thought, said, nah, it's not too much rap. Rapping is realistically just words. Words to a beat. That's all it is. So it's people talking. And they're telling you their thoughts. And how can that be too much? We talk to people all the time, every day. And that's what it is. I guess if you get tired of talking to people, then you go somewhere in solitude, sit down, have a Lipton iced tea until you're ready to engage again. So no, it's not too much content. No, not at all. It can be too much content for you if that's all you do, and if you don't reach and aspire to your own individual goals. So of course, have a plan, make a plan, do the things necessary to fulfill that plan. If that involves watching YouTube, podcasts, so on and so forth, then by all means do it. If it doesn't, well, make a different decision. Well, sports fans, I think that's it for today. All about being consistent. So you'll see me here. I think the podcast and starting off will be roughly 15 minutes long, and it will eventually grow, I'm sure, especially with different content moderation, to about 30 minutes. And wait till we add guests. It's going to be all the way live. Anyway, remember, it's your boy Ray. I'm here. This is the podcast where anything and everything can and will be used as a lesson. And again, always uplift. Stay positive. Holla.